Sorry, I'm pooped, and we haven't done either of the things yet that I said we could do today. We're going to do a podcast. And it's happening now.
It's happening now.
And this couch has to go around the block and into the new house.
This one, the cushionless couch.
Yeah, I've managed to. This is okay if I have to do this. CJ Landry, everybody, here on the James Donald Force We Can Catamaran Plan. CJ has a new podcast that is out. I'll just release this whenever.
Right. It's called Killing Time.
Killing Time.
And, we did a bowling one, me and James. I don't know how I'm going to keep the idea alive. I want to do different activities.
We're recording this before it's launched. And I
got in my head because one of my buddies, I described to him the podcast, and he goes, oh, it's cute. And ever since I've hated the idea, I've hated it now.
That'll hurt. You don't think when I came up with novelty Journey to a Boat podcast, people were... There was a lot of pushback.
Okay, good, yeah.
And it's not been successful. So who am I to say? Sometimes people are right.
Still don't have a boat, but no, you're working on it. You're close. I'd say you're so good.
I think you can repeat activities as well.
I'd say every kid you have, you definitely get set back behind the boat. You're not getting... Every kid you get definitely set you back before getting a boat.
Well, you got here and I said, get in the car. And then you said, what? Oh, the kids are in the car. And we're moving at the moment. That's why we're in a garage on a couch. And I had taken I took the kids this morning. Then my wife needed some respite. So I just
didn't expect to see 3 kids all in each individual car seat in a minivan in a closed minivan in the garage.
One door was open. Hold on.
Okay, I'm not making it sound like child abuse. I just meant like it was so like, all right, let's move this couch. And then he's like, well, first of all, we got to go to the grocery store. And then I was like, all right, that's fine. And then he's like, yeah, we got to go like right now. And then also the kids are in the car right now.
It was time. I knew it was time.
It ended up being so
I'm so glad you got here on time because I was loading him in the car. And I was like, CJ's going to show up. And she's like, while you're out at the store? I was like, no, he's going to come. I think he's going to be here very soon.
It ended up me being... I mean, I had to really... I don't know how you do it. We're walking around the grocery store...
You were sequestered, is that the word?
With 3 kids. I don't know words.
I drafted you into the army.
But I was so unprepared. It was like just storming the beach of Normandy. Bullets were flying. Kids were missing.
The James Donald Forbes McCann Catamaran Plan board game funding shirt is out now.
Board game funding? What does that mean?
Yeah, so money from the shirt is going to pay the guy who's designing the board game. His name's Nick.
Okay, so you're selling the shirts to get the board game, to get the boat.
Yeah.
Got it.
Selling the shirt to get the money, to get a man to design a board game, and then we're going to split the board game 50-50, but I'm giving him an advance because he's doing the work on it. I'm yet to play the board game. I hope it's a good board game. I'm told my opportunity to play is coming this week.
That's incredible.
We'll find out.
I can't wait. And
I'm also not in it's not a James McCann themed board game.
Okay.
It's going to be about boats, but we want to break the whole board game market.
I mean, you gotta make a boat game to get the boat. I love the plan.
It's a board.
I'm telling you.
What are ships made of? Planks.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm from Louisiana, and I've never heard someone have such a long-winded strategy to get a boat. And
well,
you would think Louisiana that would not be the case. People definitely have some roundabout ways to get a boat.
People there for sure. You'd have guys, boaties, we call them in Australia. No, guys living on the boat on the river.
No, yeah, for sure. They had. They have like
the first to die when.
They had,
when the floods come.
There's a big thing out there is shrimp boats. I mean, you can make good money doing shrimp boat. But they would have guys, they would live like on the, they have like the deck inside, and they would live in the deck, and they live on the dock, and then they would just shrimp all day.
Well, now, is your town on the river? It's downriver. It's like further past New Orleans?
It's near it's about 20 minutes outside the Gulf.
Okay. How many people?
Gulf of America, apparently.
Thank you. How many people live in this town? How big is this town?
It's about 8,000 people.
So no comedy scene at all?
No, I had to drive to I drove to New Orleans the first few times I did it.
Also, no comedies. Very
About
small.
an hour
comedy
away.
scene.
Yeah, I drove an hour to a city with no comedy
You would think
scene.
that New Orleans would have a comedy scene,
But everybody was like, "Oh, that's how that's the closest. That was the closest city." Actually, Baton Rouge had some like bar
I'm told
shows.
this. Baton Rouge has a better comedy scene than New Orleans, and it feels insane.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
That's wrong.
There's bar shows. It's not that crazy. But
I would like to start a club in New Orleans.
Lafayette has a pretty good comedy scene. They got
Why wouldn't it?
a couple rooms in the hotel. It makes no
Sweet
sense.
Lafayette.
It makes no sense.
I loved the entire state of Louisiana.
Did you?
Well, what we saw.
What'd
I didn't
you
get to
see?
St. Petersburg,
Okay.
St. Fredericksburg. Hold
You
on.
mean St. Francisville?
St. Francisville. I just watched a Hallmark movie about St. Francisville. My wife and I were watching Hallmark movies because apparently that's like they pay her like $100,000 if you write a Hallmark movie. She's like, I could write a Hallmark movie. I'm like, please.
And she did.
Oh no, we just watched one.
Okay,
That's all
yeah.
we did. We watched one about St. Francisville. It's about a guy who's like the whole town. They're like, I've never left St. Francisville and I never will. And they're like, this is a good thing because it's a good, earthy hometown. And I looked it up on the map. It's like, you're 45 minutes from like Lafayette. Why wouldn't you go to Lafayette? Why wouldn't you go to Baton Rouge? New Orleans is an hour and a half away and you never go there if you live in St. Francisville? That's insane. It's a ridiculous premise for a film. If it was in like Des Moines, Iowa, I'd go like, all right, no one's made the 4-hour drive? Maybe. Nowhere in Louisiana is very far away from something else in Louisiana. There's no reason not to get on the road.
That's true.
Do people do that?
Lafayette is further away from my hometown than New Orleans, though. New Orleans is just an hour flat.
An hour?
And then
To get
St.
to one of the greatest-
Francisville was like, I mean, Lafayette's like 4 hours, 3 hours away.
All right, so it's slightly further. But still, is it Lafayette is the one that's close to St. Francisville? I'm never going to St. Francisville.
I believe so. Yeah, it's far away from my hometown too. I remember the only thing I remember about St. Francisville was my parents went there one time to try to, I guess like have some sort of getaway, reconstruct their marriage
How did it
type
go?
thing.
Did it work?
It worked for a short period of time, like most of those things do, where it didn't work out in the end. I mean, obviously they're divorced now, but
Like obviously they're divorced.
they went
now.
to St. Francis.
Everyone's parents are divorced now.
They went to St. Francisville for some reason, but I think they had a horror movie in St. Francisville. I'm pretty sure maybe it was a different city, but there was this one horror movie that was based in Louisiana, and I forgot what it was called. I don't remember. It was like Skeleton Key, I think maybe.
Oh, Skeleton Key? They made that in St. Francisville?
Where you couldn't look at the mirrors.
I don't know.
That was the
maybe
movie.
I never saw
It
Skeleton
was
Key.
Louisiana, and they were like, "Oh, old house in Louisiana, the old white house." That's where it based in. It was like, can't look in the mirrors. And at the time, I grew up in like a house that was built in the late 1800s
So sick.
in Louisiana, and really old mirrors, dude.
Was it
And
shotgun style? Some of them, I've seen these for the
No,
first time.
It was like a tall shotgun style, basically. Like it really
You
wasn't.
got to
a
walk
shotgun
through
style.
bedrooms in some of these houses to get to other
Yeah,
bedrooms.
Exactly. Yeah,
Nuts.
my mom lives in a shotgun home in New Orleans right now. But
So she got out. She got out of your hometown.
she got out of my hometown. She lives in New Orleans. Well, she lives with my grandma now, but yeah. And then my dad stays in Homa. But yeah, it was like fourth grade or something, and I was just ducking every single mirror, dude. Couldn't look in a mirror after that.
You got to
I was
be careful
freaking
what
out.
you show children because they get spooked.
Well, it was just like it couldn't have hit more home. I mean, it was like, oh, this is
exactly right.
old home, a lot of mirrors. Don't look in them. Voodoo, Louisiana, and I'm.
That's how I feel about Mad Max when I'm out on those Australian roads.
Yeah.
This is where that goes down. It's very spooky. Although they had to film, I think the latest Mad Max, they were going to film it in Australia again, but they shot it in
They
South
shoot
Africa.
it in Australia? I
That's
didn't even know
that
that.
is just what Australia looks like. Once you get out of the cities, it's Mad Max for
Oh my
80% of
god.
the country. I don't want to overstate it. Australians watching and going like, no, some of it's rainforest, some of it is marshland, some of it is inland sea.
Yeah, that
It's
doesn't make any-
unbelievably Mad Maxy.
Some of it. So you're telling me that there are, because again, I don't know. And we talked about this on my pod.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Australia. I know like 5 things: wiggles, kangaroos, koalas,
It's the big three,
desert,
a big 4.
beach.
Desert Beach. It's just sad.
That's all I know. Crocodile Dundee.
We have beautiful green
Crocodile
areas.
Hunter and Shrimp on the Barbie, which you told me was a lie.
That is a lie.
So I mean, that's really like.
I don't want to be dinging. Is that you dinging?
No, that's you.
No, it's you. My phone's over there.
Is it?
I think you're dinging.
No, I'm
no,
not.
I take it back. My laptop's dinging. I got it set up. You know, like the laptop gets messages as well.
So many things ding nowadays.
So, too many dings. Yeah, the laptop dings as well. And it's funny when you block someone on the phone because they're being hateful and weird. Still comes through on the laptop, and I haven't figured out how to block that. And it's only like one guy, but and I changed my number, so he doesn't know what my number is now. This guy's.
You have enemies here in America already.
No, I was an Australian enemy. I was a Swedish enemy.
Yeah.
And he would.
That makes sense.
I'll say this about him. I don't call him an enemy. I call him there's a pause put on the friendship. But he loves to like have a couple of drinkies and.
He's an antagonist.
Oh boy, yeah. Everybody in this group of friends gets. Just a cat, like long, esoteric. Are you hot?
No, I forgot where I left my Fosters.
Oh yeah,
that's
get the Fosters, which we don't drink.
Another thing I didn't even know about Australia. I forgot this was an Australian thing. I thought it was a UK.
No, we love
Ireland beer.
Well, that's where they sell it. UK, Ireland. If you go to Scotland, you'll be able to buy a Foster's at the Edinburgh Fringe.
I'll tell you what, I love the beer. Hate the can.
Can's too big for you?
It's just it's an unreasonably big.
You can't have a big can.
It's an unreasonably big can.
Or a small can. CJ wants a small can. Can you believe that?
It's like I'm drinking out of like a can of green beans.
Again, I guarantee we don't do that. We never.
It's like a giant can of green beans.
The biggest one we have
is
the same one. It's like the Asahi. Is that what it's called?
No, it's
the Sapporo.
It's
a big Japanese beer. Acai. We love them. Oh, I love getting a big Japanese can of beer.
Speaking of Japanese, I'm playing a game. Brian Simpson gave me a free PS5.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't stop giving.
Congratulations.
I don't know what's going on with him. He's just such a giver. I don't know if he's got some terrible
health news
or something.
Is he the first guest on this podcast?
It's the second guest on my podcast.
Nice. Who's the first guest?
You.
I get to be in the premiere episode?
You're in the premiere, man.
Bang. Bang. Out now. Bowling. Killing time with CJ Landry. It's just no good way to sit on this couch.
Never stop promoting.
Sorry.
Never stop promoting.
Well.
But I got this game on it for free. He bought it, and it just came with the PS5. It's called Ghost of Tsushima, and you can choose whether or not you play the game originally how it was made, which is in Japanese with
I like that
subtitles, English subtitles.
Oh, you get the dub?
No dub, just English. Japanese language, English subtitles, and I played it, and I thought maybe it's like, maybe I'll learn a word or something. Not a chance in fuck.
No, I bet you got the accent though.
I can't.
I bet you get the accent on it.
Pretty good. It's a lot of
some of the voices they do.
It's so mumbly though. That's the problem. You're not going to be able to learn any. I thought maybe if because that's how you learn a language. That's a good way to learn a language. As you listen to the language.
Is bad for
and dude, it's really
a lot
hard,
of its context. Like sometimes you'll be watching like an anime or a foreign film, and they'll just make a noise and they'll give like, all right then. Like they'll go like, and it'll be like, okay, thank you. It's like, I guess that's in Japanese. That's all right then.
Oh,
it's just.
And I guess there's probably multiple words for different, just like in English. But so I can't follow it. I tried so hard to be like, okay, that's war. War is gone. But it's like I can't.
That's what it is.
Like,
it's gone.
Gone. And it's like it's very like I can't. I just like I can't discern together. Where one word starts and the other one. You know what I mean?
I struggle.
Can't.
That's all. German's hard for that.
It's fucking hard.
The Finns, the French are the worst because it's just blah 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 blah. It doesn't sound real.
And they're an emotionalist. I don't know. I don't know much about Japanese.
Oh, have you seen much Korean? Have you heard much Korean?
I've seen
just like so emotional.
Squid Game.
I didn't see Squid Game. I think they're kind of demure. I watched the first episode.
They are very emotional.
Like, I can't do it.
But Japanese, they don't. Why you don't like the Squid Game?
It seems
too much
sad.
murder.
It's like I would spend all day with my family and these kids struggling to make it happen in America. And then what? We come home and we watch a bunch of Koreans being nasty to each other. And it's like capitalism is so bad.
That makes sense.
Capitalism's all I got right now to hang my hat on. No, we do have to break down capitalism. It takes us to the first segment of the show. Is
killing capitalism?
Nah, they're already guys doing that.
Who is?
That guy, the Luigi. Kill that guy.
That's true, man. That's a good point.
That's such a pussy move to kill a CEO.
Now, do you think he was? I feel like he was. I feel like he had a team. I don't think he. I'll say
this: they've stopped reporting on it.
Yeah,
like there are developments in it, and after it became very clear that the public was on his side, it did just disappear from the news cycle. I never see a story about it anymore. They're memory holing the CEO killing.
And that's a good point. Yeah, it was kind of wild. I mean, there were so many memes. And yeah, there was no like emotional, like, oh man, poor CEO, huh? Poor guy.
Not in the main media. Sorry, in the mainstream media tried to push that a little bit.
Right.
Got no purchase.
No.
I remember Matt Walsh did a video about like, this is murder. And all of his comment section was like, up yours. It's good to kill a CEO. I think it's bad to kill people. But
here's
also you tell me.
Here's what I'm saying. So there's money to be just from this is just knowledge from me playing Grand Theft Auto.
Okay. The star rating will go down if you hide for long enough.
There's like an incentive, a money incentive to be made when you kill a CEO because the stock crashes or.
Oh, you think you could short the company and kill people who work them?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that maybe that there was a team behind this Luigi guy that goes, hey, you hate CEOs. We like making money. Now let's come together on that.
Maybe like Meta was just like whispering at him on the phone. Just like Meta could radicalize us. The Instagram.
You think Meta AI could
Yeah, I think they...
Oh, you're saying the ads, the ad marketing?
No, I mean, even the feed, even the algorithm on the feed. I think about this a lot. All right, because there's no good way to sit on this couch. Cannot wait until we get the cushions back on this couch. The kids are on the cushions inside on a couch made from nothing. You do have the same shoes as my boy. All right, it's like we talk about them like algorithmically figuring out what you want in terms of news or like your bubble, like everyone's in a bubble, an algorithmic bubble. I think they go a level further that we haven't cracked yet, which is like if they want you to be happy, they give you the content to make you happy. If they want you to be unhappy, they give you unhappy content. If they want you horny, if they want you celibate, they could do it. You could. My mood is so dictated by.
God, they want me horny so bad.
It's tough,
and I pump the brakes hard. I hold the video and go, not interested.
I do that right there, brother. Many times.
I'm trying to stay as Christian as I possibly can.
I went through and I told Instagram to stop showing me hot dancing women, and it started showing me Muslim like extremist content.
Oh, well,
like it figured out it's like, oh, he likes the ladies.
Here's what's wild.
But he's feeling complicated.
Here's what's wild to me. I will say not interested, all these twerking bitches and stuff.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere it goes, oh, well, you'll definitely like breastfeeding stuff.
Oh, yeah. Like, no, you got to pump through that and say no to that.
What in the hell is this?
Well, they don't tell you, they don't have a good response on why you're not interested. So it's like, maybe this isn't hot enough.
Maybe that's a good point.
Yeah, the fake baby breastfeeding is
a problem.
Oh, it's very bad. Shut it down. Everybody wants that shut down, except the woman doing it.
No one wants that, except for creeps.
Nobody wants that. Nobody is looking for that.
No, and then the whole excuse of like, well, it's educational.
It's not.
No, it's not. We know how it works. We've been doing this since we were in the caves.
There's stuff to learn about breastfeeding. None of it is where to put the child.
Right.
0% of things that women are confused about when they start breastfeeding are, is it on the nipple?
And it's definitely not. And it's definitely not showcased in the video.
Oh no! Well, there's a child's head in there.
And the women that do it are creepy. I mean,
imagine getting to the point where that's the market that you're. All right, this is weird. I get music for this podcast. This is just in terms of like women doing creepy sex stuff where it doesn't belong to try and get a sexual following.
Okay.
So if you go on Wikipedia, there's like free music people upload to Wikipedia. So I tend to take that. Because it's like copyright free and I don't get flagged. So like the US military band will just upload them playing songs if they record someone's national anthem. If you're on Wikipedia and you're like, click a national anthem, that's the song you get. What I'm getting to is there's this woman who plays like classical music on the piano, this Asian woman, and she's not uploading audio files. She's like a full video of her playing in like very sexy negligee, playing Bach quite well. And just going, well, this is Creative Commons. But it's softcore pornography. It just happens to be, it's such a weird way to like, I'll get them like this. This is how I'll get them to see my body and to come along to the OnlyFans, is a guy looking for, an etude, and then he's got my bazumbas. And she's a talented pianist.
It's so niche.
It took me by surprise when I saw it.
I mean, yeah, they'll do anything they can. They showcase any talent. But that's like I don't know. For me, that's almost like a 12-year-old, 11-year-old thought that I had where I'm like, whenever you first find out that naked women are online,
yeah,
then you get like, that kind of dies for you. And then you're like, well, surely there's got to be a naked woman playing the piano.
Is that where you went next?
That's where it's like, I got
that next. Oh, I didn't know there was a real market for it.
Maybe a naked woman doing yoga. There's got to be that.
I saw a guy. Yeah, they're out there. I was at the creek and I saw a guy on his iPad, just like sitting up the back of the room, and I thought he was looking up. It looked like he was looking up pornography. There was like pornography on his iPad at a comedy club up the back of the room. And I was like, oh my goodness, stop that.
Despicable.
And then the screen changed a little bit, and it was, I realized that he had been like watching illegal anime translations.
Illegal?
Like someone scanning it from Japan so that he can get the manga faster. Like people do their own translations, right? And so he's reading a manga, like a Japanese cartoon, that just because it's on that kind of website, it's got porno advertisements on it because it's like an illegal, cheap website. It's like, oh, he's not trying to watch pornography. He's trying to read a Japanese cartoon. That might be more, like, what is more embarrassing in public? To be checking out the new Naruto or to be watching softcore action? I was upset.
That's a good point.
Now, we've got the door open in this garage and my beautiful neighbors can't hear us.
Comic books are embarrassing to read in public.
I've become concerned about that now, that the neighbors can hear and we're saying filthy things. And these are my new neighbors and they don't know who I am.
Yeah, they're like, God, this degenerate guy with children.
He's a real, yeah.
He keeps yelling about porn in his garage.
In the privacy of my own home, I don't want to close the garage door because it's hot. It's weird. So we're in a better neighborhood. That was the main reason we moved. It's like,
it's a nice neighborhood, man. I tell you. I mean, it's definitely not a scream about porn in your garage.
Yeah, we'll be more. That's more of an old neighborhood thing. So the old neighborhood was vibrant and like exciting, and people wanted to live there. And this is like a normal, laid-back suburban. So the cost, even though this is like a way bigger house, the cost is not that different to the last house. It's comparable, and we're going to be happier here, I think. But like, we're with middle-class people now. We're not with bohemian,
hipstery.
We're not with like there was like a strong Hispanic element there, and a lot of homeless people, and a lot of crackheads, and a lot of like hipsters. Yeah, that was the combination. But the result was like, if the kids were going crazy, people would look at me like reassuringly in the supermarket, and they'd be like, "Oh man, I know what that's like." Or like here, when the kids are behaving badly, it's like cold, icy. What are you doing?
I felt that at HEB.
Yeah, I never felt that in the old neighborhood, and it's a weird thing to become more.
People were really disliking you at the HEB.
I was doing my best.
I saw a lot of nasty looks.
A lot of nasty looks.
Especially whenever the little one was running around and
they don't like it.
Not even by you. They were like, "What is he doing?"
This is a high contraception use neighborhood. This is people having the children they can afford, and also they've got nannies and they come and help. This is real. I didn't know what American suburbia looked like, really. Here, this is it. I'm getting it. I pushed my kids on the swing, and we go to the playground. We have like I wouldn't say I was rough with them, but we have a fun, like, I try and get involved, like get across the monkey bars. You got to really encourage the monkey bars. And I pushed my son yesterday on the swing here, And he came off. He let go while I was pushing him. And he did a flip and he hit the ground. And
Oh, boy.
That's why he's got funny stuff on his face. Scars. Scabs. Little cuts. He's all right. He cried for a bit and then he was all right. But the other parents there were
horrified.
Like, what have you done? How have you pushed your... These Tesla driving bougie ass parents are like blaming me.
Is there anything worse?
I was upset. This is going to be difficult for me to navigate that while I'm
Tesla, fine. You want to buy a Tesla?
You're right.
Fine.
Enjoy.
But if you want to get a Cybertruck,
very cool.
You
don't like it?
I just don't understand what the move is.
I saw a guy.
I don't understand what the move is.
I saw a guy in town who's like a solar
It looks like a
panel company.
dumpster.
Yeah, it's nice. It's different. It's creative. It's illegal in Australia.
It's illegal to have.
Yeah, they've recalled them from the streets because they say it's unsafe because it's a sharp edge when it crashes into people. So it's like
that's a great reason. I didn't even think of that.
Nah, it's evil. Let people have the cars they want. You know when you see one of those,
why are you defending Cybertruck right now? You
grew up here. You grew up here.
Cybertruck.
I just like that it's different. I would never want to own one.
Okay.
But I like that someone's going, what if we do a different style? Like every car looks the same and he's going different. What I really like and what I would like to get. Nah, I wouldn't get it. I just like it. I like the attitude. You know those where the rims come out like a foot? Big spiked rims that come out.
It's a gang thing here.
Is that a gang thing?
It's a gang thing here in town.
It seems bizarre.
Yeah.
It must make it way harder to drive. The amount of space you have in that lane has come down
significant.
20% you've just lost.
I know what you're talking about. Now, I don't think the people at home understand what we're talking about.
There are spikes that come off the hubcap.
It's like a
foot.
It's like you have metal. It's like
60 centimeters.
It's cone shaped too. Yeah. It's like a cone rod sticking straight out, like perpendicular out of your wheel.
There's no reason for it to be there.
Why is it doing that? It's almost, actually in Grease, the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
At the end.
It's very much
with
like
the race,
in Grease. Yeah,
where he rams his tires.
But they flick out. Do they flick out, or is it just built like that in Grease? Maybe they couldn't.
No, it's built like that. It's like a little sharp. I think
It's like considered poor form. The bad guys do it in Greece.
Yes, and it's like a gang thing here. I saw it's like it was a bunch of them, a group of them, driving in a line. Yeah, with them all sticking out.
Very tinted windows on this car.
Very tinted windows.
Looks illegally tinted.
That's right.
But that's also freedom, and I respect that.
You like it. Where do you draw the line at freedom? Where is that line drawn?
Something bad happening to me. And then other people's freedoms. But if something bad's happening to someone else, that's just good old-fashioned freedom, baby. It's hard. I know. I don't have a good...
That's tough, man.
So, like, speeding in America is super normal. I talk about this in the act and the new... It's just so... I'm going to hunch. My back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's not good. I thankfully have this blanket I'm sitting on.
Oh, yeah. I'll get that blanket.
It's getting me through it.
All right. Share an anecdote.
Here's the thing with the Cybertruck, and this is what I've said before, and I'll shamelessly say it again. I don't understand the move as a straight guy who buys a Cybertruck, because here's the thing: only have I heard every time a woman talks about a Cybertruck, they talk about how hideous it is.
You don't hear a lot of women talking about how it gets them going.
No, I have never heard a woman say it. And
but
so
do women say that about other trucks,
like
an F-150?
Of course.
All right.
Are you kidding me?
not my woman.
Oh well, I'm from Louisiana. Every time there's girls that's like, oh my god, he drives a sexy truck, right? That's not a sexy truck. It's a nerd mobile.
It's an Asperger's.
It's an Asperger's dumpster fire, and so every woman goes, that truck is so ugly. Every time. I've always only heard that. So to me, it's like, damn, bro, you really spent $90,000 to get less pussy. That's crazy. That's a weird move.
Yeah,
you could have bought anything else.
You get big nerd points.
You could have bought anything else.
The nerds love you for it.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like when guys work out too much and they get too jacked.
Yeah.
And now it's like, damn, you're only doing it for the bros.
That's for the boys.
That's what it is.
But there's a lot of, I think almost every male activity is for the boys.
That's not true.
All right. Now, I'm not saying girls don't like it, but I think we're really doing it for the boys. Example, Pokemon Blue speed runs. That's for the boys.
Pokemon Blue? What's that mean?
If someone's playing Pokemon Blue speed runs on the internet, I got locked into a YouTube wormhole of like the time, like how fast you can beat Pokemon Blue.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to not
doing that over and over.
There's a lot of ways to not get pussy. That's for sure.
No one's doing stand-up comedy to get girls.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
Bro. Are you kidding me?
I don't think
Matt Rife made a whole career off it. What are you talking about?
I think he's reaping the spoils, but I think my guess is he really wants to be a great comedian.
Oh, dude, but what you're okay. But here's the thing. There's a side effect to stand up, and it is getting women. That's true.
I agree.
There is no side effect of Pokemon Go to get girl. There's just not. Maybe if you find another girl that's in Pokemon Go, it's possible. But I'm just saying, like, it's very small.
That's a couple that I'm glad is out there walking with Pokemon.
But like every other guy, like golf, you could definitely. There's like tons of chicks that golf. You can do all kinds.
Yeah, but CJ, let me tell you, those ladies are not interested in the fellas out there on the field, on the course.
That's a good point. But I'm just saying,
Korean lesbians
that's a good point.
Have no interest. No, I think we often see other people do it. We see men sing. We see men succeed in their industry, and it is nice that women are interested in that. But I think really what women like is men who men like. Women are looking to see, and the Pokemon speedthrough is not something that men overall believe in. But I think that the alpha male that the ladies are all about. I think women pursue the guy who the boys have identified as the leader. This I believe. This I do believe. That's why politicians, despite being very ugly, ladies, they always get the beautiful ladies.
Well, it's a weird because it's very, very so much about money too. But it's definitely money. But so Cybertruck, sure, yeah. If you got money, so then women are like, oh wow, he must have money because he's got a Cybertruck, right? But what I'm saying is that it is a very, very ugly vehicle.
To date that
you could have gotten anything else.
Yeah.
And then on sight, women would have been like, damn, he's got money and a sexy ass car.
I tell
That's
you,
crazy. You got an ugly one.
The Toyota Sienna is that attracts a very depraved kind of woman because it screams. That is okay. There are some
I
cars.
love it though.
There are some cars that people will still mess with you if you're driving. They'll disrespect you. I've felt in certain cars. I felt disrespected. If you're in like a little Volkswagen or something, people might muscle you around. That car. People give me a wide berth in a minivan. They're scared
berth.
because you don't know. You suspect that whoever's driving that minivan,
Yeah.
they've had a bad day.
Okay, and then we didn't even.
They're ready to go.
They're ready to
That's
go.
a fighting car. The minivan, the people mover, the Sienna, the Tarago.
They're like, this guy doesn't know how to pull out. That's hot.
Yeah. He's not going to pull out of a fight. He's not going to pull out of a fight. Or it's a lady. It's a mother with children in there. And we want to be careful for them. Either way, no one you want to mess with is driving that vehicle. You want to treat that vehicle with respect.
That's a good point.
I'm a big believer.
I will say the funny thing, too, about the Cybertruck, it's tied to politics now. So then it's such a divisive vehicle.
It's a weird right-wing car.
It's an ugly vehicle. It's like, God damn, bro, you just made such a crazy choice.
The car that's really about politics is the Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
That really identifies what side of the revolution you're on. There's no one. This is my second year not doing the festivals in Australia, and I'm feeling a little sad about it. The Perth Fringe, or they call it Fringe World, it's in Perth. The Adelaide Fringe Festival, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival, the Brisbane one, and the Sydney one.
How significant does your act change whenever you like your current act now?
Yeah.
Let's say your current hour. Let's not even say what you got now.
All right.
I'm saying your previous taping.
Yep.
How much different does that set get in Australia?
Some of the context is different. And some things don't, like joking about how fast people drive in America, in Australia. It's fine. They listen to it and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
It's not going to hit.
It's funny. Things that are funny to Americans about themselves are not the same things that are funny to Australians about Americans, and vice versa. So like,
it's the same with the South and the North here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like a northerner doing jokes about the South, it's going to be very different to a southerner doing jokes about the South. Like a northerner might go, "You fucking cousin, loving,
Right.
Whatever. And in the South, they'd be like, one day the... Excuse me, I joke, I jest, I kid. That's a Northerner bit. That's what the... But in the South, they'd be like, I don't know, it'd be something about the hogs playing football or like when mama fix a meal.
Well, I did that whenever I went to New York. I was like, oh, I have to like joke about the South in a weird, jokingly like, they're down there, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like here, I have to make it like likable in a sense that I'm not making fun of them here. I'm like, just talking about what we do and how it's ironic.
It's inside comedy versus outside comedy.
So weird.
But this is the weird thing about being in the new place and joking about the place that they're in. This is what I had to do in America, is like do jokes about America to Americans. The things I notice have to be like the Venn diagram. It has to be things I would really notice, and also things that they find funny about themselves, which is hard because like they're not alienated the way I am. So like I had a bit that would never fly, that works great in Australia, about how Americans can like politely ask strangers for things. Like, can you I'm sorry, can you please turn that off? Or like, could you take him over there? You know, like whatever, like Americans just don't have a problem going, would you please fetch that for me? Like they have a request and they say it to people. Just that in Australia, describing that gets a big laugh because it's like, we can't do it. We are so embarrassed to ask a stranger to modify their behavior. It's, you know, my friend came back from America. He was here for 3 weeks and he got back and he said the first thing he recognized was that he was at the airport and someone came up to him and said, can you please do me a massive favor, mate? Could you move that bag slightly to the left? Like, it's so hard to ask a stranger to do something for you.
Really?
And here it's just like, excuse me, sir, can you move that bag over there? All right. It's like everybody's flowing. Everybody knows what they want and they're happy to say if they're going to do it. There's very few limitations. So like that's in Australia, that observation about Americans gets a big pop. And that is something that I notice. And in America, it gets nothing because everyone's just like, well, why wouldn't you do that?
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
I can't even flip it and go like, in Australia, you never ask people things because they've not been to Australia. So they just go, why would they do that? That seems silly.
Right.
It's so hard. You have to find things like they're uncomfortable about and you're uncomfortable
You're making
about.
me question things about myself because now I'm like, I don't think I ask people to like, my girlfriend's calling me. I don't think I ask people to move like or change their behavior or modify anything unless it really bothers me. And then I think if I get really frustrated and it's really pissing me off, I do get kind of confrontational and I'll like tell them.
Yeah. But even then when you're confrontational, are you angry or are you keeping a lid on it?
I'm trying to keep a lid on it, but it's tough.
There you go.
It's slipping.
That's a difference. Aussies, when people open up, when people finally say how they're feeling, it's very ugly. You've had a dog. Get her off the bus.
Yeah.
That was one.
Dude, they had a bunch of Australians come into the club recently.
Yeah.
Mothership. And they were very annoyed by the heckling rules.
They wanted to chat.
Because they were like, in Australia, it's not this crazy. Like, they were turning to their buddies and they're like, yeah, like back home, like this, it isn't like, you know, they don't care. You can talk or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is that true?
Yeah. No, I find this weird when when I'm doing comedy at the ship and the security will come, like I'll be chatting to a lady and the security, like we're just doing it's crowd work that starts as heckling. Like that's the thing you have to do in Australia. When someone's heckling you can just shut them down, but you can also like talk to them and work through it, and then they've like had their say, and then you move on. But it's happened a couple times where someone will like heckle or like say, just like not even really heckle, like you suck or whatever. They'll just be like, whoa, like they'll contribute. And I respond to that and I work with it, and I'll see security come over and be to them like, you got to stop that now. And then I feel bad about it because I sort of encouraged the person to do it, but you're not meant to do that at that room. The British are brutal for it. The Scots.
They love it.
Every set they'll be heckling at the start. And then you'll face one, and if you do a good job dealing with the heckler, they're like, oh, he's funny. He knows how to do comedy. That's all right. We'll listen now. But like that's a test that you will frequently get in the United Kingdom.
And what do they want? Do they want wittiness? What they want?
What do the British want? They want their
wit.
They want their empire back.
They want wit. No, but I'm saying for stand-up, they want wit.
think about this a lot.
That's so crazy that they want. That's so funny that they go like
at that interaction.
Is he funny? Can he handle in person whatever?
Can he handy me going? Oh, fat.
Yeah, exactly. And then
some people can't.
I don't know. I was going to hate on British comedy for a second there, but then I regretted it.
No, I was thinking about
before I even did it.
They want wit in that encounter, but overall,
I'm not a big Jimmy Carr fan.
All right.
Sorry. I said it.
Jimmy Carr, we'd love to have you on the podcast to rebut this scandalous feeling.
Sorry, I'm not a fan.
Well, he's doing jokes. He's doing jokey jokes. He's doing that's not what you're about. It's fascinating. Because he'd be the closest to an American comedian. No, well, like his success.
Fascinating.
I find it fascinating. Okay. I find everybody who's become a success, I find interesting, because it's so hard.
It's so hard,
and no one wants you to be a success. There are no stand-up comedy industry plants. Everyone managed to figure out something that they could do. Who last and are successful? I would say you get found out by the audience real quickly.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Jimmy Carr was doing. I mean, how did he break through in America? How do Americans know about him?
Game shows. He did like some kind of. He like hosted something, I think, or he was on TV somehow. But no, I mean, like he like hosted like award shows and things. That's the thing. It's like he got famous enough in Britain, or he can get on TV in the U.S. and be fine. But yeah,
he gets you. I love this.
There's a backstory.
Oh, do you and Carr have some beef?
There's beef.
You
want me to tell you?
Yeah, but maybe do it off mic. We'll cut this out.
All
right, tell me. Do you want this out? That you publicly want to air your Jimmy Carr beef? That's so above your station to be beefing with Jimmy Carr. I love that. You're talking about getting to start going on the road, and you've got, with the top British comedian in the world, a feud going.
I mean, watch some of his jokes. I mean, just that there's no.
Wait, have you met?
I took his comedy class, actually.
Here we go.
Which is a scam. Oh my God. So first of all, his wife runs it.
Okay.
And she doesn't even do stand up. And she was teaching a bunch of comedians, like, it was a free class. I was like, sure. But his wife was teaching it, and she's like, this is how you do stand-up. Presses play, and it's Jimmy Carr doing stand-up. And you're like...
Insane choice.
And then she's like, this is how you write jokes. She was like...
Excuse me, the couch is falling apart.
Pretty much like X, Y, Z. How you write a joke. And it's just like how Jimmy Carr came about this joke. And you're like, okay, well, clearly that's not the only way to write jokes. And then she, like, in the class, like in the curriculum of his class... There's no writing on stage. That doesn't exist in stand-up.
That's dumb.
Bunk.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
And then, so she says that that's not true. You have to write off stage. You have to write in the notebook. Write every day. Write lines in between your jokes. And so I was just like, I don't know, man. It's got really aggravated. And then we go, this is stand-up. And then they would play his joke, and it's like some... I mean, honestly, just a bad joke. Corny ass fuck dude.
When this is happening, where are you?
He's corny.
Yeah, but where were you?
Oh, I want to watch a butler on stage tell one-liners. Get the fuck out of here.
This is the big difference between the American and the British mentality.
Sorry.
They do.
I don't like it.
They want to see the butler be a little bit silly.
Yeah, and hey, that's why they lost. That's why they lost and we won.
It is genuine. All right, dig in, because I was thinking about this a lot. That the American sense of humor is actually based around it being a martial.
Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Watch Great British Bacon Show, where they have these two clowns on, and they're all like, while they're making cakes, and it's like, these guys aren't funny. Nobody on that show is funny.
I've never seen anyone hate the British.
No one on that show is funny.
It's personally offensive.
They're like, this is two comedians. They keep like cycling through comedians. Like, none of them are funny. None of them are funny. That's crazy. Y'all have 6, 7, 9 different comedians on there, and none of them are funny. I mean, I don't know.
Now, we'll cut out some of that that's going to get us in trouble, but that's definitely staying in.
Oh.
When did you know you hated British comedy? Why did you start watching the Great British Bake Off? Does your girlfriend does she love the Great British Bake Off? How did you even come across that show?
So many women love that show. But yes, my girls watched it. I've seen it on TV multiple times, just in passing or whatever.
This is.
It's bad.
It's like you've been possessed.
I hate it.
All right.
There's now. Don't get me wrong. There's definitely some British comedians I think are fun. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not just
give me one that give me one that you don't hate.
One that I don't hate.
One.
I think Bill Hicks did stand up.
Sickening. You don't like Stuart Lee? It's okay not to like Stuart Lee. Someone out there should not like Stuart Lee.
I don't know if I actually don't know who Stuart Lee is now. I think about it.
It's weird. Okay, so Stuart Lee has made his whole career.
If I've seen him
making fun of those people, you don't like that man who skips at the Apollo in the UK, the Michael McIntyre. What about James Acaster? Slouchy, pouty
like
James. You don't mind him?
I don't mind James Acaster. Here's what I like about him.
All right.
You might not like him.
No, I have no strong feelings about James Acaster.
Output. A lot.
It's a lot of output.
A lot of output.
Yeah, he's got to work ethic.
I respect that.
Yeah. They do. I mean, they do. All the British people seem to do an hour a year.
Deny
every year.
Output.
Yeah.
And I think Jimmy Carr has a good output. Fine. But whenever it's little bite snips of corny at a time, that's when I don't like it.
Well, I think it's because you guys have an empire and you're being serious, and there's actually like an intellectual current through American comedy. I don't want to like overstate it and be like, these are philosopher kings. But there's like, if you're talking about something that's real to you and that you're really dealing with, Americans sort of treat that like it's valuable, like it's a tool to help you through life. And like as a result, the biggest comedians are often the weirdest, sort of twisted, strange people doing comedy. Like Louis was doing weird stuff. Bill Burr's doing weird stuff. Shane now is doing quite weird. Like, whereas in Britain, they have like two classes of comedy. They have like the alt scene, which is shit and boring overall, I just want to say. And then like a very hacky, clever panel show, top level, corporate moneyed thing. And here, that distinction does not exist. The most interesting people are usually the most successful. And the smartest people are usually the most successful. And that's not the case in Britain. Because I don't think white people, when they sit down after a long day at the coal factory museum, I don't know what they do for jobs there in the UK at the moment. Yeah, but there's no hope of improving your life or taking over the world or running the world. It's like, we've got to pass the time while this falls apart.
I think
that's what they're doing.
A lot of stand-up for Americans is like, at least for me, I like to watch a cathartic experience.
Sure.
Where I go, I feel this. This guy's making me laugh because I've felt this or I have thought this. And
it's real.
This works me up right now because it's like I connect with this and it moves me. It makes me like very...
You identify with the person doing it.
It makes me laugh, bro.
And so when British people are doing a silly walk...
Whenever Jimmy Carr's up there and does a joke about biscuits, I want to lose it. I'm not saying that I'm comedy god.
No.
I'm but I would say
him, a big difference here is so like Seinfeld. Though I really like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Because Seinfeld will do a little bit about biscuits and something he's knows about biscuits.
I'm sure.
No, but the through line, the thing under it with Seinfeld is always, I might kill myself. I might kill somebody. Like you feel a weird anger and despair,
annoyance,
as he's talking about. Chip packets.
Yes.
And the way they open or whatever. Yes. He's really talking about the existential condition. And you don't get that with observational comedy.
And that's at a cathartic thing where you're
deep,
you're watching
strange.
And you're going, I know how that feel. That fucking thing. You're right. That fucking thing pisses me off. And now that's making me laugh because I agree with his annoyance. But Jimmy Carr, it's an emotionalist. He might as well be holding a dinner napkin all around his wrist while he does it. It just bothers me, bro. I watched so much of his videos because of that class. I just couldn't believe that they were using some of the examples as like from his jokes.
Oh man, I did a creative writing class in university, and during the poetry class, when the poet was like, "Here are my poems. This is good poetry," I wanted to reach out and strangle them in the middle of the room. It was really something. It's evil. And also, People probably should go to comedy classes. This is my new thing. This is a new band that I'm on.
Oh, wait, hang on. This is another reason why I don't like Jimmy Carr.
Hit me. All right.
It's because
that's the title of the episode, by the way, is another reason why I don't like Jimmy Carr.
Because his whole thing is like, I'm classy. He's he's like classy.
Yeah.
His perspective is, I'm a classy guy and you're trash.
Yes.
People from Liverpool are trash. This is trash.
Yeah.
You're trash. You're a drunk. He's a drunk. It's like, why is this funny? You're just better than everyone else?
Oh.
Is that the big laugh?
Classic egalitarian American CJ.
Is that the funny part?
We
is that you're
love it.
better than everyone?
Yeah.
He's
See, punching down is good because you
cocksucker.
get more force.
No.
If you punch up, that's only the weight of the arm. If you punch down, you can get the full weight of the torso moving through this blood.
That's fine, punch down, but the behind it,
Yeah.
like Sam Kinison punched down great. He was joking about starving kids in Africa.
But he's down there in the muck.
But he's down in the muck.
Yeah.
He's not up there going, I'm part of the empire, trash people. That sucks, dude. You're not funny. Sorry.
It is. Oh man, why do the British love that? Because they do.
I don't know. Because they think they're on top still.
This is funny. So no, they don't. I think they know it's over.
Come on, dude.
So they
love the Queen, bro.
The biggest Australian
You can't even joke
export.
about the Queen. Why?
She's a beautiful, sweet woman. She's great.
No, it's because
Don't
they
you joke
respect
about the Queen.
the
Don't
fact
you
that
joke
they
about
were
the
on
Queen.
top.
Don't you joke about the Queen. Don't you come on here and joke about the Queen. The biggest Australian comedian export globally, well, to the UK, I would say, was Barry Humphries, who would put a dress on. This was in the 70s, where it wasn't political. It was still just funny for a man to wear a dress. I think we can all agree that that's pretty funny when a fella puts a dress on. And he'd be like a housewife.
Okay.
So the character, it's Dame Edna, and it starts off being a housewife, and it's like being a judgmental housewife, whatever. And then it like got to the, there was this whole thing about like Dame Edna Edna Everage gets knighted and becomes Dame Edna and starts calling herself a gigastar and like really sledging the audience, doing shows with people on and like talking them down and being like, oh, that's good of you for trying. And it's all like nasty down, I'm better than you stuff. But the underlying thing is it's an old fat man in a dress pretending to be a woman who everybody hates who's being nasty to people.
Right.
Right? So there's a level of irony there. Whereas
That's what I'm saying.
This is like when Jiminy Glick is saying how great Jiminy Glick is. And it's like, well, it's Martin Short in an enormous fat suit. We're laughing at a fat guy.
Right.
I'll grant you, Jimmy Carr, I can see how that would grate because he's not doing an impression of a classy guy punching down. I think he is a rich dude.
Yeah.
From money.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like, what is funny about this? And there's no self-deprecating factor in any of this. It's just very like I'm rich and I'm classy, and people and these people are trash.
I've never seen something.
These people are trash.
Trash has meant
Cool.
something. Garbage.
Funny, man.
Refuse.
No, I'm slapping my knee.
Well, Jimmy Carr, we'd love to have you on for a right of reply. And to defend, you can come into the garage. We'll have some cushions on the couch by that point.
And look, again, I'm sure the guy can write corny jokes, circles around me, writing corny jokes. I'm sure he could write circles around me. But I don't, it's like, it's still, I watched so many of his jokes. I watched all of them with a straight face. Just like, what was that? I was like looking like,
how long did the class go for?
And she like pressed pause and she goes, "Now that's a perfect joke." You're like, okay, I'm sitting here with my arms.
This has made you more upset than anything I've ever seen.
You're upset by this.
No, you're upset by this. Like, I've never seen you get so worked up.
I do get worked up.
This is great.
I've told you I'm very confrontational.
I've never seen you confront someone the way that you seem to want to get into a fisticuffs with Jimmy Carr.
I'm a very friendly guy.
How far into comedy? I want to find out about this comedy class. I got to know. How long did you go for?
Here's the thing.
All right, tell me.
I'm just saying, whenever I'm trying to make a point,
yeah,
I know that there's a bunch of people on the other side going, okay. So in my head, I'm going, well, let me prove you why I'm saying this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I took the class for like, I went to class like 3 times because by the second time, I'm like, I'll do it. I'm going to go one more.
Yeah.
Because I've had enough of it. And then I went the last time, and that's whenever she said that there's no writing on stage, and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Can't do that. This is stupid. And she showed not.
This
by
is
the
a
way,
multi-day course, though.
Oh yeah, it was like weeks, 2 weeks.
It's nuts.
They did it at Mothership. They
Oh, this is recently at Mothership.
Yeah. He was on Rogan and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do my comedy class at the mothership and teach all the door guys comedy." And then we watch it and you're like, "This is trash, bud."
Was he there? Did he turn up at the class?
No. He did.
He sent his lady.
He baited it. Oh, his little carrot was that he was going to be at the end of the class, and then he never came. And it was just his wife teaching the course, who's never done stand up in her life. I mean, just the biggest scam artist ever.
We can definitely get Jimmy Carr on the podcast.
Do it, man.
All right.
I'm sure he'll have 50 corny ass jokes for you too.
He'll probably tell you to wear a suit. You're trash. Trash? You think you can speak to me?
It would be so awesome for Jimmy Carr to be sitting on this couch right now.
He wouldn't dare.
No, he wouldn't.
He'd bring his own seat.
Oh, my God.
That's exciting. We haven't had any beef on this podcast yet. If you had picked someone more remote,
so much beef.
we never would have heard about it. Jimmy Carr is genuinely, if I was to say, pick the top person who might actually respond to this podcast. Like, still in the realm. Like, if you went off about Jay-Z, we're never going to hear back about Jay-Z. You can say whatever you like about Jay-Z. He's never coming on the show. You go, Obama? I'm not just picking rich black guys. I pick a white guy.
Yeah, come on, dude.
No, do you know what I mean? Like, the King of England.
Right.
He's never going to respond. Jimmy Carr, 50-50.
Yeah, he's in the neighborhood. He could. I hope he does.
Well, we got to do another plug now at the end.
Yeah.
Now that you've come here on one of those, presumably people are watching this now, not on the actual podcast, but the vast numbers will be those like Comedy World guys who cut up the clips and are like,
oh, I would.
CJ Landry takes aim at Jimmy Carr. Blah, blah, blah.
I would tell him it's a shame I can't get my time back from those classes. It's a shame.
This is great.
I could have had lunch with Brian Simpson and would have learned 6 times.
You could have gone
more.
for a walk. You could have sat with your dick in your hand in a hotel room.
I mean, I could have just done anything else and would have had a more, learning experience as far as doing stand-up. I mean, it was just... Yeah, what was crazy was that she also showed us videos of like Louis on stage doing a bit, and then she literally said right after that, "Oh, there's no such thing as writing on stage. That's like against this class."
That's all he does, right?
And you're like, that's all. That you don't even know what Louis does then. All of us in the class told her that. We're like, that's what. Louis
There was a
does.
route. There was a route in the class.
Oh, bro!
Everyone
Everyone in the class knew what it was. That's the thing. That's why it's like what I'm saying is not even really that crazy. Everybody in the class agreed. Was like, this lady's dumb. Jimmy Carr's jokes are bad. And why are we watching Louis and you telling us that we can't write on stage?
He had one about a junction that I really like. It's the only Jimmy Carr joke I remember.
Okay, what is it? Say it.
He goes, I was talking to my girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Who's probably running this class now in the in the grade.
Probably.
It's an old joke. I was talking to my girlfriend and she said, we're at crossroads. Down one path lies a difficulty, but commitment and ultimately a happy relationship. And down the other path, we let each other go and have a shallower but easier life. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, that's not a crossroads, that's a junction.
You see what I mean, though? Like, if you're listening to that...
Because he's classy.
Okay.
That's a man who thought about it and wrote that down.
Wordplay. It's good stuff.
Get those shirts on JDFMccan.com. I think this episode's run long. What a powerful second act for the podcast. None of that's getting cut. JDFMccan.com. Out now. Get the shirt. CJ Landry. Killing time with CJ Landry. Is that what it's called?
That's it. And then Don't Tell's coming out. Keep an eye out for that. Jimmy Carr, your shit's on site, bitch.
And what now? You do activities with people on your podcast.
That's right. I do bowling. I do chess.
What activity will you be doing with Jimmy Carr? You got to have Jimmy Carr on.
Oh, we'll do a writing jokes class. Or I sit there and teach them how to write. I would. You know what, dude? I would love to do a debate about writing his class.
Yeah.
Talk about, okay, you can't write on stage. Let's talk about that. Where's the proof that you can't write on stage?
Yeah.
Let's see. Bill Burr. Seems like that guy's
working
successful.
some stuff
not
out.
Writing on, just writes on stage.
I
Seems like
can't
he's doing
imagine
all right.
George Carlin was burning the midnight oil getting all the words in the right order.
Oh, he definitely
Wait, no,
was.
George Carlin?
George Carlin was a nerd.
Sorry,
He
no,
definitely
George
was
Carlin. I didn't mean to say George
Richard
Carlin.
Pryor?
I meant to say Richard
You think
Pryor.
Richard Pryor was just writing the N-word 5 times on a notebook? Are you out of your mind?
I did mean to say Richard Pryor.
I mean, it just makes no
George
sense.
Carlin
The whole
did it.
thing was a dumb class. I mean,
well, this is. I mean, there's.
they were taking it on the road. They were gonna go. They were gonna go They were gonna go to every country in the UK
Skrilla.
apparently,
Yeah.
and do this class.
Yeah, you got to make that money.
Oh,
Is there a reticent? What's the word? Do people hate comedy classes in America? Is it
people.
like, you shouldn't do
Well, you know, it depends on whenever if you're asking a brand new open micer, they love it.
it? Yeah.
And that's.
But like all the
you know,
comedians go, the only way to do it is to do it. Don't do a class.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's the only way to do it.
I'm going to run one in Australia, I decided. I'm not going to charge for it. But I was thinking about it last night.
I think
But
that's
not,
smart.
I don't want to talk about the comedy at all. What I heard was Ari Shafir ran one that was great at the Comics Lounge, and all he's doing is talking about the business. He's like, this is what a manager does. This is what an agent does. This is how you get a manager. This is when you don't need a manager. This is what you can ask an agent to do. This is a good deal and a bad deal. This is the rooms that you should be talking to. And it's just like all the stuff that actually help. Nothing to do with the act
Yep.
and developing the act, but it's like how to move in the industry.
Yep. Big.
That would be nice to hear.
Yeah.
That's an investment to
right.
get someone to tell you that. But writing jokes, I mean, if you could teach it, those classes would be worth something.
Oh yeah.
No one can do it.
Jimmy
I don't believe
Carr's
anyone
got to
can do it.
figure it out. Junction.
I did notice a lot of the door guys starting to wear 3-piece suits. I wondered what that was about. Someone must did the whole class turn? Did people stop going?
It was dropping like flies from the first day to the third class. I mean, it was half. Everyone was like, "This is bullshit."
Who stayed to the? Don't throw anyone else under the bus. But I'm gonna find out more about this. Catamaran ho, everybody!
Thank y'all for listening, and check out the Don't Tell, huh? Please share with your friends, family.
He's figured it all out on stage. It's all shit. It's all just.
That's right. I wrote the
Never
whole
wrote
set in a
one
notebook
joke.
over and over and over and over again, just like Jimmy Carr said.
I love that Richard Pryor just going like, hold on. Cops don't shoot cars. Now what could rhyme with that? I don't do a good Richard Pryor.